My name is Blake, and I've been selling fresh milk from my roadside stand on Willow Creek Farm for most of my life. This land has been in my family for 3 generations, and I never imagined I'd be fighting to keep it. Blake, you need to see this, my best friend Sarah said, bursting through my farmhouse door one Tuesday morning. She waved a document in her trembling hand. What is it? I asked, setting down my coffee. It's your grandmother's will, the new one. Derek filed it with the county clerk yesterday. I grabbed the papers, my heart sinking as I read. This says Grandma Rose left the entire farm to Derek? That's impossible. She promised me this land when she passed. I know, Sarah said, sitting beside me. But look at the date. This will is dated 2 weeks before she died, when she was barely conscious in the hospital. Derek was the only one with her during those visits, I whispered. He insisted on private time, said he wanted to say goodbye alone. Blake, I think your cousin forged this will. I called Derek immediately. We need to talk about Grandma's will. What's there to talk about? Derek replied smugly. Everything's legal. The farm is mine now. You have 30 days to vacate. Grandma would never cut me out. We ran this farm together for 20 years. Well, apparently she changed her mind. Maybe she got tired of your charity cases, like that homeless kid you gave money to instead of investing in the farm. That was 15 years ago, and it was $5. $5 you didn't have. Face it, Blake, you're not a good businesswoman. Grandma finally saw that. I'm selling this land to Westfield developers for $2 million. You should have thought bigger. So that's what this is about? Money? It's always about money, cousin. You just never understood that. 30 days. He hung up. Sarah grabbed my shoulders. We're fighting this. How? I can't afford a lawyer. The farm barely breaks even. Then we find another way. We prove he forged that will. Over the next week, Sarah and I drove to every bank, hospital, and office in town. I need to know if Derek came in with Grandma Rose on this date, I asked repeatedly, showing the will's signature date. The hospital administrator finally gave us something. I remember that day. Your grandmother was heavily sedated. She couldn't even hold a pen. Can you testify to that? I asked. I can provide medical records showing her condition. We gathered everything we could. Hospital records, witness statements from nurses, my grandmother's previous will leaving everything to me. But without a lawyer, I didn't know how to proceed. That's when a black Mercedes pulled up to my roadside stand. A man in an expensive suit stepped out, and my breath caught. Those eyes looked familiar. Excuse me, ma'am, do you still sell milk here? He asked with a slight smile. Yes, $2 a bottle, I replied automatically. Do you remember me? I studied his face. I'm sorry, I don't. 15 years ago, I was a homeless teenager walking through here. You gave me $5 and 3 bottles of milk. You said, everyone deserves a chance. I'm Marcus Chen. I'm an attorney now, and I'm here to help you. I stared at Marcus in disbelief. The drifter boy? You're really him? I am, Marcus said, extending his hand. That $5 got me to the next town where a shelter took me in. I worked my way through college and law school. I never forgot your kindness, Blake. I've been following your family's farm from afar, waiting for a chance to repay you. When I saw the property transfer filing online and recognized your cousin's name from old conversations, I knew something was wrong. Sarah emerged from the farmhouse. Blake, who's this? Sarah, this is Marcus. He's the boy I helped years ago. He's a lawyer now. And I specialize in estate fraud, Marcus added. Tell me everything about your grandmother's will. We spent 3 hours at my kitchen table going through every detail. Marcus took notes meticulously. Your cousin Derek was desperate for money? Marcus asked. Always, I confirmed. He's a failed investor. lost everything in bad real estate deals 5 years ago. When Grandma got sick, he suddenly became attentive, visited her constantly. Classic pattern, Marcus said. Isolation, manipulation, forgery. Blake, I'm taking your case pro bono. I can't let you do that, I protested. You gave me $5 when you could barely feed yourself. This is me returning the favor. Now, let's talk strategy. Marcus outlined his plan. First, we need a handwriting expert to analyze the will. Second, we get your grandmother's medical records proving incapacity. Third, we find witnesses to Derek's financial desperation and sudden interest in the farm. I can help with that, Sarah volunteered. Derek bragged about the development deal to everyone at Murphy's Bar last month. I know the bartender. Perfect, Marcus said. Blake, contact your grandmother's estate attorney. Find out who witnessed this new will. I called Mr. Patterson, Grandma's longtime attorney, that afternoon. Mr. Patterson, did you prepare Grandma Rose's final will? No, Blake. I was surprised to hear there was a new one. Your grandmother came to me 3 years ago, and that will left everything to you. She never contacted me to change it. Who prepared the new will? According to the filing, some attorney named Robert Skinner. I've never heard of him in 30 years of practice here. Marcus investigated immediately. Robert Skinner was disbarred in Nevada 2 years ago for document fraud. He moved here 6 months ago. Derek found a crooked lawyer, I realized, and we're going to prove it, Marcus said. I've already filed a will contest. We have a hearing in 2 weeks. Sarah hugged me. We're getting your farm back. Over the next 10 days, Marcus worked tirelessly. He hired a handwriting expert who confirmed the signature was forged. He deposed the hospital staff who testified Grandma Rose was unconscious on the will's date. He found 3 witnesses from Murphy's Bar who heard Derek bragging about the development deal weeks before Grandma died. He told everyone he'd be rich soon, testified Jenny, the bartender. Said his grandmother was finally giving him what he deserved. Marcus also discovered Derek's debt. He owes $200,000 to various creditors. Westfield developers offered him $2 million for this land. He needed that money desperately. The night before the hearing, Marcus sat with me on the farmhouse porch. Are you nervous? He asked. Terrified. What if we lose? We won't. The evidence is overwhelming. Trust me, Blake. Tomorrow, we're getting justice. Why are you really doing this, Marcus? He was quiet for a moment. Because 15 years ago, I was ready to give up. I hadn't eaten in 2 days. I was 17 and completely alone. Then you saw me, really saw me, and treated me like a human being. You didn't just give me money. You talked to me, encouraged me. You said everyone deserves a chance. That simple kindness changed my entire life. The courthouse was packed. Derek sat with his disbarred lawyer looking confident. Marcus and I took our seats with Sarah beside us. Judge Morrison called the hearing to order. We're here regarding the estate contest of Rose Fletcher. Mr. Chen, you represent the contestant? Yes, Your Honor. Blake Fletcher contests the purported will dated March 15th, claiming forgery and undue influence. Derek's lawyer stood. Your Honor, this is a desperate attempt by a disinherited granddaughter. Let's hear the evidence. Judge Morrison interrupted. Marcus presented everything methodically. First, the handwriting expert testified. The signature on the contested will shows clear signs of forgery, Dr. Williams explained. The tremor patterns, pressure points, and letter formations don't match Mrs. Fletcher's authenticated signatures from other documents. How certain are you? Marcus asked. 98% certain this is a forgery. Next, the hospital administrator took the stand. Mrs. Fletcher was admitted on March 10th in critical condition. By March 15th, she was under heavy sedation. Her medical records show she was unconscious and couldn't communicate. Could she have signed a legal document that day? Marcus asked. Absolutely not. She couldn't even open her eyes. Derek shifted uncomfortably in his seat. His lawyer whispered frantically to him. Mr. Patterson testified next. Mrs. Fletcher came to me 3 years ago. She was very clear. Everything goes to Blake, who runs the farm and cared for her. She never contacted me about changes. Did you know Robert Skinner? Marcus asked. No. And I would have advised Mrs. Fletcher against using a disbarred attorney. Marcus then played his trump card. Your Honor, I'd like to call Derek Fletcher to the stand. Derek stood reluctantly. Under oath, Marcus began questioning. Mr. Fletcher, how often did you visit your grandmother before her illness? Occasionally, Derek stammered. According to hospital records, you never visited her in the 3 years before her final illness. But suddenly, you visited daily during her last month. Why the sudden devotion? I wanted to say goodbye. Or you wanted access to her while she was vulnerable. Marcus pulled out financial records. You owed $200,000 to creditors. You have 6 maxed credit cards. 3 months ago, you contacted Westfield developers about selling this farm. All before your grandmother died. How did you plan to sell land you didn't own? I expected to inherit. Or you planned to forge a will to steal it. Marcus showed phone records. You called Robert Skinner, a disbarred lawyer, 15 times in February. What were those conversations about? Attorney-client privilege. He's not a licensed attorney, so there's no privilege. What did you discuss? Derek's face reddened. I needed legal advice about estate planning. You needed someone willing to forge a will, Marcus corrected. Your Honor, we have 3 witnesses who heard Mr. Fletcher bragging about inheriting the farm and selling it weeks before his grandmother passed. He had motive, opportunity, and means to commit this fraud. Marcus called Jenny, the bartender. Tell the court what Derek said at Murphy's bar on February 28th. He was drunk and bragging, Jenny testified. Said his grandma was finally going to make him rich, that he had a $2 million deal lined up. Someone asked if she'd agreed to sell, and he laughed and said, She will one way or another. Derek stood up. This is ridiculous. That farm should be mine. Blake wasted years on that worthless roadside stand. You deserve nothing, I shouted, standing. Grandma trusted you, and you manipulated her on her deathbed. Judge Morrison banged his gavel. Order! Mr. Fletcher, sit down. Marcus addressed the court. Your Honor, the evidence is clear. Forged signature, incompetent testator, disbarred attorney, financial motive, and the defendant's own admissions. We request this will be invalidated and the previous will reinstated. Judge Morrison reviewed the documents. I'm ruling in favor of the contestant. This will is clearly fraudulent. The 2022 will leaving the farm to Blake Fletcher is reinstated. Furthermore, Judge Morrison continued, I'm referring this matter to the district attorney for criminal investigation. Mr. Fletcher, you should retain legitimate legal counsel. Derek's face went white. Your Honor, please. You forged a legal document and attempted to defraud your cousin. That's a felony. Court dismissed. Outside the courthouse, Sarah grabbed me in a fierce hug. You did it. The farm is yours. Marcus did it, I said, turning to him with tears in my eyes. You already paid me 15 years ago. Marcus smiled. But we're not finished. I'm filing civil charges for fraud and emotional distress. 2 weeks later, we met at Mr. Patterson's office for Derek's settlement conference. Derek sat across from us with his public defender, looking defeated. My client will pay $50,000 in damages, publicly apologize, and accept a permanent restraining order, the public defender said. Not enough, Marcus replied firmly. We want $150,000, a published apology in the newspaper, the restraining order, and Derek testifies against Robert Skinner. Derek finally spoke. I don't have that kind of money. You still have the Westfield contact, Marcus said. Broker a different property sale. Give Blake the commission. That covers the damages. You're destroying my life, Derek muttered. You did that yourself, I said sharply. You forged a dying woman's signature and tried to steal my family's legacy, all for greed. Sarah leaned forward. You manipulated your own grandmother. You deserve prison. The public defender whispered to Derek. He nodded reluctantly. Fine, I'll sign. Marcus slid the papers across. The DA is still pursuing criminal charges. Cooperate fully, and maybe you'll get probation instead of 5 years. Derek signed with shaking hands. A week later, his apology appeared in the newspaper. I, Derek Fletcher, apologize to Blake for attempting to defraud her through document forgery. I accept full responsibility. Marcus, Sarah, and I celebrated at the farm that evening, with fresh milk and pie on the porch. Derek's sentencing is next month, Marcus said. The prosecutor says he'll get 2 to 3 years. Skinner will get more. Good, Sarah said. They can't hurt anyone else now. The farm title is officially clear, Marcus added. All the paperwork is filed. It's completely yours, Blake. What about you? I asked. Back to the city? Actually, I'm opening a practice here in town. This community needs an honest lawyer. Plus, I owe you about 15 years of friendship. You don't owe me anything. Then I'm choosing to stay, he smiled. A month later, Derek's sentencing arrived. The judge gave him 3 years in prison and ordered full restitution. As officers led him away in handcuffs, he looked back at me. Blake, I'm sorry. I really am. I don't forgive you, Derek, I said clearly. What you did was unforgivable. You hurt Grandma, tried to destroy my life, and only felt remorse when you got caught. Face your consequences. He nods and was taken away. I felt no joy, only relief. Justice had been served. Months passed. My farm thrived. Marcus's practice flourished. Sarah helped me expand the roadside stand into a small country store. One evening, Marcus and I sat on the porch watching the sunset. You know what this taught me? I said. Revenge isn't about hurting someone back. It's about refusing to let them win. Derek tried to take everything, but he lost himself. I fought back legally and won. That $5 created all of this, Marcus said. Your kindness saved you. It saved us both, I replied, looking where Grandma used to sit. Have you ever faced someone who tried to steal everything you worked for? What would you have done in my situation? Like and subscribe for more stories about people who refused to be victims and fought back the right way.